Welcome back to J&J Dynasty. Hopefully you can hear me so I don't have to project and yell, and hopefully I won't go ahead and have a coughing fit. So let's get into this one. On this episode or show or whatever, I want to go through the top five running backs and go through what we feel or how I feel about them, and kind of give a little bit more in depth on them, right? So let's get into this. I'm going to put up here, sorry, the top five running backs according to FANPROs. So these are the five running backs that I'm going to go over. And just for reference, I'm going to pop in here the image and the numbers of where they're going to be drafted. So, what? That's not even right. Oh, my word. There we go. Okay. So that gives us the top three according to KTC and the rookie ranking. So that's what I wanted to put on there and show you where they're at. And I go from there. So as you can see, just from the KTC, that we got two of them right at the very top. Charbonnet, a little bit difference with A-Chain. I kind of went over that with the last video. And then we got the other two right here. So almost the top 15 as far as the top five running backs as far as future or first and second round draft capital. Top 15 picks is what would be said for the fantasy pros up there. So we'll just go back to the number one slide. So 1, 2, 3, because that's the way we're gonna work them. All right. So let's start off, with everybody's favorite running back, Bijan. Now with Bijan, one of the things that I want to zoom down a little bit here. One of the things I wanted to talk about is with all these guys is how I project them and what I think that their value is going to be, and I'll let you know if I'm going to wind up getting any shares of these guys. So basically, what it's looking like currently is that Bijan went to Atlanta, top 10 pick. He's going to be the bell cow. He's going to be the guy. Think about 12 to 1,500 yards, 10 plus touchdowns, and throwing 50 receptions probably for a guy. I think you've got a top five running back year one. So year one, right, guys? So that's where I really think about Bijan. 1,200. I mean, is that light in a 17 game season for fantasy? I mean, it's 18 overall, but yeah. So if we just prognosticate, if he gets 1,200 yards, that's 120 PPR points. If he gets 50 catches, that's 170. If he throws up 10 touchdowns, that's 60 more. You're looking at 240 almost points, and that's probably low end with him getting hurt. 250 points year one. He gets a couple receiving touchdowns. He gets more than 50 catches. He gets more than 1,200 yards. I mean, you're pushing 300 points year one. So obviously, he's going to be a difference maker as far as tiers, as far as running backs. You want him. So that's where we're going to go with him on that one, right? Let me take a water break, make sure I'm not advertising for somebody. Just like the athletes. Yeah. Woo. So we got that going for us. All right, let's see who is next on the docket. Well, I think we know who's next on the docket, right? We got Gibbs, and he's going to be the thumbnail on here. Oh, let's go back once. Bijan, I'm going to get one share of Bijan. Got one startup league. I'm hopefully turning that one into a monster. Not this year, but next year. I'm going to be trying to trade away this year's first round pick for a first round pick, sometime in the early season, just because of how everything is going with that. Let me see here. So with what I'm saying is I've got Dak and Deshaun, two very good quarterbacks, not super elite. So on that team, I've got Hall, and I'm going to add Breece Hall to him. So quarterbacks and running backs are not an issue on the team. So I got to fill in the rest because it was a bad team. So, but I've got getting real close to the makings of a really good team here. A team that could compete. So, I mean, I'm in a terrible division. I'm scared that I'm actually going to win the division this year. I mean, my wide receivers don't match up. I think it's DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Kadarius Toney, guys like that. Guys that a lot of people think are going to be good, but I don't think they're going to cut the mustard quite exactly. So let's go with that's Bijan. So Jahmyr Gibbs. At this point, I'm going to get one share of him, one like his jersey. So I've got the second pick in another rebuild league. In this league, I think I'm going to actually be able to make the leap into contending, because I'll be adding Gibbs to Swift. Hello, the switches. Walker. I got Hunt on there. I've got Akers and Gibson already for running backs on that team. I've got Cousins, Lance, and Dak on that team. So I think I've got Ridley. I've got OBJ and Bateman so far on that team. So I need to probably add another wide receiver. And I think I got Dalton Schultz and Zach Ertz or something like that on this team. But I'm going to get one share of Gibbs. The thing that really, really, really excites me about Gibbs is the receiving potential. I said 50 for Bijan. We could see Alvin Kamara type numbers from Gibbs in the Detroit offense, especially the first 6 weeks or so. So, I mean, if you think about it, Williams is gone, Shark is gone. The only Hawkinson is gone. They only have right now St. Brown to throw to. If he for some reason is covered, and I mean everybody always plays zone against him, so he runs free release. If you want to check down, you're going to have to throw it to Gibbs. So he could receive somewhere between 80 to 90 receptions. If he gets a fair number of touches, running about 150 to 200, if he puts up 1,000 to 2,000 yards or 1,200 yards, if he catches 60 to 90, well, let's just say 70 to 90, or should we just say 80? If he catches 80 balls, if he puts up 10 touchdowns combined, which will probably be more because he's explosive, start throwing up the numbers on this, all right? So let's say 1,200 is, again, 120, right? Let's just say 80. That's 200 points right there. 10 touchdowns, that's 260. That's pretty darn decent. And so I haven't even added in receiving yards yet. So if he gets 80 receiving yards, he's probably going to have 800 to 1,000 yards. So let's throw another 80 on there, right? So we're at 200 plus 60 plus 80. You're talking 340 for this guy. So he's another guy who's probably going to be around 300 points. Year one, you need to take this guy number 2 overall. My decision, I've got 2 and a 5 overall picks, a couple of them, and I'm going to be taking Gibbs now that Swift is gone. Be taking him all day long. Addison would be my next pick just because I know that year one he's going to have a proven role. Smith and Jigba, Quentin Johnson, they're at best wide receiver 3 on their team. They need an injury or guys to retire to move up, basically. So, boom, 1, 2 in Dynasty, or one quarterback drafts, right there, we got them. All right. And that's where I'm taking them. So that's what I have on those. So 2 good prospects, obviously, because they're 1, 2, both places. KTC and FANPROs, and in my heart. So let's. What more can I say about Gibbs? I forgot that I've got a couple slides on some of these guys. So, if you're at 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, I'm sorry, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, move up to 1, 2. Get Gibbs. He's going to be a difference maker. He's a young player. You're always going to be able to go back and get Addison. There's going to be, or Smith and Jigba, or Quentin Johnson, because these guys are, how can I say it? These guys are going to be made available because they're not going to have super productive years. Addison might have a super productive year, but he's probably at best going to be a wide receiver 2 type. Not, Gibson is going to be top 10 running back. He's going to be a running back 1. So what do you want? You want that? I mean, the value is going to go much higher for Gibbs and Bijan than it will for the early wide receivers. So I think I've kind of covered that enough. Let's keep going here. The next guy on the board well, I guess I got this wrong here. I got Charbonnet. I should have some. I guess I'm kind of going down on the one down there a little bit better. On the KTC. So Charbonnet's next. There's no way I want to touch Charbonnet. I'm just going to say it like that. To get Charbonnet in the early second, I don't want him. To get him in the mid second, I might think about him. If he's the end of the second, I would take him. But I see a big slow back. I mean, everybody talks about his explosion. I don't see it. If you're talking about explosion for a 10-yard run, maximum 20, okay, he's got that in him. He doesn't have house speed in the Pac-10, so that's not going to equate to NFL speed. Okay, so he's going to be a big bruising back. I saw so many of his highlights where guys were just sticking their shoulder into him. I would love it if I'm 240-pound running back to have a 160, 180-pound cornerback or safety run up to me with his arm like this and hit me in the shoulder, right? Put his shoulder into me. Dude, you're 180 pounds, I'm 240 pounds. And that's what happens. They bounce off of him like flies. So if you think that that's going to happen in the NFL, the cornerbacks are bigger. They're going to be closer to his weight. They're going to be able to hit him. I still hate the tackling in today's football. Wrap, you used to wrap them like a tree and drive them into the ground. Nope, now everybody just hits with a shoulder. So, but, I mean, he's an average back at best. Everybody's now trying to promote and tell you that he's got great hands. Last year, the reason he went back to UCLA was because he did not catch. Couldn't catch the damn ball. All right? So we wanted to prove that. So now he proved that he could catch the ball. Now all of a sudden, somehow he's an elite receiving back as a senior. He proves that he's an elite receiving back. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the motive that they're doing. Okay, he might be better than Walker, all right? And he might wind up being the third down back and the primary backup to Walker. But Walker, I think, is still the bell cow. And Charbonnet is going to get some time. He's going to get some love. Everybody thinks it's going to be a 60-40 type thing. I don't think so. I think it may be more like 70-30, all right? So just watching Pete Carroll the last couple of years with Carson, Penny, Walker, and how it goes, whoever starts the game, you're going to get the lion's share of the touches. So if you're good to go, you're going to do that. Even the backups that they had that came in, it was still that way. They got 80 to 90% of the touches in the backfield. So with Charbonnet, don't believe the love. I don't believe the love. So please don't believe the love. He's a big back, yes. Can you say A.J. Dillon? Dillon came in and he didn't have the receiving chops. Well, Charbonnet did it 1 year. Not 4 years, 1 year. Remember this. To me, there's a whole lot of love out there for Javonte Williams. He reminds me very much of him. If that makes you go and want to draft him, go draft him. I've told my friends and people who actually listen to me, I don't like big running backs who just break tackles and don't have breakaway speed. They wind up getting hurt. They take extra hit after extra hit after extra hit. In college, they add up. A 180-pound guy hitting you, you don't really feel it, but, after a game, it hurts a lot more. So now increase the size of that, and then now guys are holding you up, and then other guys are hitting you, and other big guys are hitting you, and defensive linemen are coming down the field and hitting you from behind. What does that do? That gets your knee blown out, Javonte Williams. That ends your career. If that's the type of thing you want from a running back, by all means, load up on Charbonnet. I'm just not buying the hype. I'm not believing it. I think he's a good running back. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm saying that I don't think that he's going to have a stellar career. I don't think he's going to be a bell cow. I don't think that he was ever going to get that chance. I think he's a good backup, a premium backup, maybe a premium handcuff. But you don't want to be drafting that in the first round. At least I don't. So there we go. So let's get back on to the move here, right? With Devon A. Chain. So number 3 up there and off the board down there. Well, we can check that out now, can't we? Let me think how I do that. Like that, right? Break time. We're in the big leagues now. Um, so you can see where A-Chain, lands in there. I think it looks like number 12. Is that number 12? I believe so. So that would be the last pick of the first round. I think that in most leagues, he's going to go somewhere between 7 and 10. I personally do not like it. I should go back with Charbonnet, right? If he gets 40 receptions, let's go back to him. If Charbonnet gets 30 to 40 receptions, if Charbonnet gets 600 yards, I think that's about the size of it for him, maximum. I don't know what anybody's projecting. Haven't seen a thing. That's just my guess. I don't think Geno Smith checks down to guys, so I don't see the big receiving thing, especially with Smith and Jigba out there now with the 3 wide receiver sets. And then, does he get 100 touches? I don't know. So, he's going to score, maybe 8 to 10 points a game for you, maybe throwing a touchdown here or there, but you're going to be rolling the dice with that. So that's kind of what I see Zach Charbonnet. So that's why I really don't want him, and I don't see his prospects improving unless Walker gets hurt, and we don't want to hope that somebody gets hurt. So, all right. So we're on the A-Chain, and we got the stuff. Sorry, messing up because I messed up setting it up, right? So let's talk about him. He's added to the Miami sound machine is what I like to call it. Mostert and Mostert and Wilson and A-Chain. I see A-Chain playing slot receiver. I see him being a third down back. I see him getting 5-6 carries a game, right? All said and done, I don't think it's enough of a workload. I think he's a gadget guy. He's going to hit home runs. But is he going to be in your lineup? Best ball, I love him. Dynasty, 1 quarterback, no. So even though he's going to go in the first round, some people might even bump him into the top 5 because of the landing spot. I do love the landing spot. I do think that he's going to be exciting. I do think he's going to be explosive. But I don't think you can put him in your lineup weekly. You may put him in your lineup and he may hit. He might get 5 points for you, 5-6 points. It's a tough call. So, going a little bit bigger than water. Gurgle this out here a little bit. One thing about A-Chain too is I think that he's a body catcher. I don't see him being as fluid catching the ball, however you want to say it. As a lot of experts and pundits see, I see him catching a lot of passes with his body, much like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's a special cat. He's gotten away with it. I don't know if A-Chain's going to be able to do that. So, as you can tell, I don't talk straight a lot. So this scratches my voice somehow. I don't know why. We're just going to keep hammering on to it. I'm sorry. Getting into my projection voice now I'm getting the radio voice. Don't really like that. So we're close here to the end of the line. And so we're going to, I guess the last thing with A-Chain, right? Where's he going to go? I think I said 1 to 7 to 110. I wouldn't take him mid-second round. Maybe I put a flyer on him. So to see if he has a couple of games early, pops off, and I would trade him. That's it. Let's try and get through Kendre Miller here before I really start coughing. And I hate this. It bugs the shit out of me. At any rate, Kendre Miller, he's one of the guys that I actually really do like. I don't like his landing spot or situation there. Bunch of bad things with some good things. He was one of the top guys that I had. I really like him. At the end of the year, maybe I'm going to try and sneak a few shares of him. Don't like the landing spot. You got Junk Williams ahead of him. They got Kamara, who's going to be suspended. So basically, he's going to probably be the third down back most of the year. Because Junk Williams, early in the year, if Kamara is suspended, is going to get a shot at the full role. Kendre will probably beat him out. When Kamara comes back, Kendre will go back to the bench, and then they're going to have their dual role thing with Junk getting some early down work and Kamara catching balls later. So just the usage of Kendra is not going to be good this year. Kamara is going to be on the team for the next couple years because of the contract. They just signed Junk Williams, so Miller is going to wind up being the third running back on that team for the next couple years. Of all of the other guys, I think Miller has the most upside. I just don't know where to draft him. I mean, mid second to sit on him for a year or two. I mean, if he would have been had a chance at being a real bell cow, well, I was thinking about 1.7 to 110, but the way it's sitting, 2.5 to hang on to him for 2 years, I don't like it. And as far as numbers with him, I can't project anything with him. Even though I love how he runs, I mean, he looks like certain guys to me that are highly productive. I'm not going to say them because I want to keep a little to myself. Um, but he, it's just such a difficult proposition with the Saints. They got a brand new quarterback. It's a new offensive system. So you really can't tell anything about what's going to happen there. The only good thing is he's the guy that they drafted in the third round, not second, third. So that does also scare me. Um, he's their guy for the future, but like I said, if you wait 2 years, he's got a rookie contract. He's the third round pick. He's going to be in the last year of his deal by the time he's relevant. That's what scares me. So, with that being said, I kind of really glossed over Miller. There's just so much there that to me is still uncertain. I just don't even want to get into it. We'll just end this video here with Bijan before I really start coughing again. So you know what I like, what I don't like, and what I'm suspect of. So this is going to be this video. We're going to go out with the thumbnail. Like, comment, and subscribe. Put any questions down below. Hopefully I answered enough stuff to give you an idea of where I'm at with everything. And hopefully a couple more of these videos to follow. So let's go with that. And have a great day.